Domantas Sabonis is having an incredibly underrated season, and it's kind of hard to wrap your head around the fact that he wasn't selected as an all-star despite averaging 20 points, 13 rebounds, and 8 assists. It's even crazier when you consider the fact that he's currently one of only 4 players in NBA history to average 20 points, 12 rebounds, and 8 assists in a season, alongside Wilt Chamberlain, Oscar Robertson, and of course Nikola Jokic. Sacramento's offense is one of the most unique in the NBA, and it's been one of the most effective, ranking 4th in offensive efficiency since the All-Star break. And so I want to dive into what Sabonis does to really grease the wheels on the offensive end and make everything tick for the Kings. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing and leaving a like. It helps me out a ton. All that being said, let's get into it. Sabonis gets viewed as primarily this dribble handoff focused big man, which isn't necessarily wrong by any means, but I also think there's a lot more to his overall game than just the dribble handoffs. When talking about rim running centers, I don't think Sabonis gets all the credit that he deserves. And what really sets him apart is that with a lot of rim runners, we normally think of the vertical threat, the lob threat that they possess. And that's what creates a lot of their opportunities, where the ball handler can just toss it up to them and they can throw it down. Don't get me wrong, Sabonis can do that, and he very frequently does. But the difference with Sabonis is that he has impeccable footwork once he gets going downhill towards the rim, and that allows him to turn what originally might have been contested looks at the rim into wide open ones through the use of post footwork and pump fakes. Just in terms of raw points per possession as a cutter and roll man this year, he's been one of the best roll and cut bigs in the entire league. Additionally, with his ability to get downhill and score and use that footwork to get himself easy looks, defenses usually have to guard him a little bit further away from the restricted area. They can't just camp out in the paint because he'll burn them. He's oftentimes going to fake guys out of their shoes and then pivot into space to get easy touches off the glass, but then you add another layer of complication to things when you factor in those push shots that he has in his bag. He's one of the most efficient players in the NBA from floater range, shooting 52% on significant volume this season. Where Sabonis makes a lot of his money is when he gets the ball on the short roll. As a scorer, he's going to be more than comfortable banging with you down low to try and get positioning and find his spot so that he can get the look that he wants close to the basket. Even some of the strongest guys in the NBA are consistently going to get knocked off their spots by Sabonis when he's attacking off the catch. To try and remedy this, let's say you put 2 sets of bodies on him like Miami does here. All that's going to do is leave a guy like Keegan Murray wide open on the perimeter, and Sabonis is going to make that pass every single time. In this play from their matchup against the Clippers, they had Zubac hanging down low to try and contain him when he would get downhill and try to score. While it does prevent Sabonis from scoring, it relies on Harden to make this rotation to the corner, so Harrison Barnes is going to get a wide open look from the corner while Harden has his back turned. With all the different ways that Sabonis can hurt you, defenses have a much more complicated time processing what the offense is doing or trying to do, and the Kings are fantastic at capitalizing on that confusion. The Lakers are setting up to defend Sabonis and Fox in a potential dribble handoff, and Fox is going to cut up the middle, which keeps LeBron home while pulling Reeves with him. Meanwhile, Duarte is going to move out to the corner and get this light screen from Murray so that he can pop out to the wing. And with everybody else kind of fixated on Sabonis and Fox, nobody's going to make the rotation to Duarte on the wide open shot. Defenses can become hyper fixated on defending Sabonis and making sure that they have enough bodies to stop him. But with De'Aaron Fox out there with him, that leaves teams kind of short-handed in regards to who can provide help. It's a double-edged sword. You have to have enough help to be able to stop Sabonis, but you also have to have enough help to stop De'Aaron Fox. That's why De'Aaron Fox is able to score on this possession, because when he drives, it's Anthony Davis's responsibility to slide over and help, but he can't since Sabonis is camping out near the dunker spot. So he's not going to feel comfortable providing that help, and so De'Aaron Fox is going to be able to get the finish. When Sabonis is bringing the ball up, he's going to call for Keegan Murray to set this flare screen for Fox, and Rui's going to jump the pass a little bit, allowing Fox to attack the basket. Since Rui overplayed the pass, Anthony Davis is going to have to slide over to contain Fox on the drive. This means that the rest of the defense is going to be responsible for helping defend Sabonis when he gets the pass from Fox on the roll, but since there's nobody left out there on the weak side, Murray's going to get a wide open look for 3. The Lakers had been defending the pick and roll with drop coverage for the most part, and Anthony Davis would be sagging off to cover any drive or pass to Sabonis on the roll. So when Sabonis runs this DHO from Murray early in the offense, Rui's going to get held up on the screen, and the drop coverage by Anthony Davis allows Murray to pull up for the open look. When he's pushing in transition, the defense is going to gravitate towards him, leaving guys open for kickouts. And then with Sacramento's fast-paced offense, they can keep the defense in rotation and attack closeouts to develop advantages until they get the look that they want. The other factor at play is that Sabonis can fake the dribble handoff just as easily as he can run it. And if you as a defender are not fully prepared for either of those possibilities, he's going to be able to punish you. We talk a lot about this idea of spacing, and while Sabonis has been a great three-point shooter this year, just in terms of raw efficiency, his volume is incredibly low. He's only attempting about 1 3 per game, so just because they're going in, it doesn't necessarily mean that the defense is always stepping out to guard him on the perimeter. Sacramento attempts threes at one of the highest rates in the NBA. So with a guy like Sabonis who isn't necessarily demanding defensive attention out to the perimeter, how is Sacramento able to be such a high volume three-point shooting team and still maintain such an effective offense? Well, there's a flaw in the logic here. The problem is that spacing is often inherently equated to three-point shooting, and that's just not necessarily the case. Spacing usually makes it easier to create an advantage, but you don't have to run a 5-out offense to have effective spacing. This play is a really good example of a different type of spacing. This is more of a horizontal type of space, with Barnes and Mitchell more towards the baseline and Huerter in the opposite corner, and it leaves this region of space across the half court around the free throw line. This spacing allows Keegan Murray to get downhill towards the basket so that he can get the space that he needs to get into the shot. Now let's say defenses are playing a little bit more inside. Sacramento is still going to have guys tucked into the corners that you can't help off of. Is this area of the floor over here not space? It gives Malik Monk plenty to work with so that he can punish the drop coverage with the floater. You'll see a lot of teams are willing to just play drop coverage against Sabonis with their bigs in the pick and roll, but that allows Sacramento to generate a lot of those floater range shots, and those are shots that they hit at the highest rate in the NBA this season at 49.4%. So they're clearly comfortable taking and making them. Sacramento is able to mitigate any spacing concerns that you might have with Sabonis by surrounding him with shooters and knowing how defenses are going to react to the movement shooters around him, and they're able to take advantage of that from there. This play, they're running out of time on the shot clock, so the ball goes back up to Huerter up top. Sabonis is going to come up and set the screen for him, and the Suns are going to hedge against Huerter, allowing Sabonis to roll down low, and Huerter's going to find him. This forces Craig to slide over to help, leaving the pass to the corner wide open, and it creates a great shot. Here, Sabonis is going to set a ball screen for Huerter, and look at all this spacing inside the arc that they have to work with. Huerter drives and forces Nurkic to show, and Sabonis' roll causes Kevin Durant to have to sink, and it's going to force the tag from Gordon as well, and this is just going to leave Barnes wide open for the easy look, and he also could have kicked it out to Keegan Murray if he wanted to. The Kings have been one of the best teams in the NBA since the All-Star break, and Domantas Sabonis continues to be one of the most uniquely impactful players in the NBA on the offensive side of the ball. The Kings are a perfect example of a team having a clear approach on the offensive end and knowing how to put their players in the right spots in order to manipulate a defense and create the right looks for the guys that they have. Really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'd appreciate it if you considered leaving a like and subscribing if you want to see more stuff like this. Shout out to my patrons for supporting the channel. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.